Alright, what do you think? Advertising on Nextdoor, is it worth it? I don't know. I can share with you my experience, and then hopefully by the end of this video you'll be able to determine if it's right for you. So let's get into it. So what is Nextdoor? It's basically a neighborhood platform. I believe it was created by Salesforce, and they post things on lost dogs, neighborhood events, items for sale, and different things that you and your neighbors want to post. They verify your identity by using your address. So therefore, only people that are in your neighborhood can sign up and legitimately be in your neighborhood. So ideally, that sounds great. It's a good way to reach your neighbors and people in the local area if you have a product or good or service that you're trying to promote in your local area. But what's the catch? Well, let me explain. My experience has been buggy. There's all kinds of problems on the website with verification issues, logins, email addresses, 2FA codes. I was constantly being bombarded with text and numbers to log in. At one point I tried to sign in with a different email address and there was a typo in the email address, so my account got frozen and locked for about 4 weeks. I reached out to customer support, which is absolutely terrible, and tried to explain my situation, and only until I explained to them I had money to spend on advertising did they do something about it. I was literally without access to the website for over a month. So it's very simple, but perhaps it's too simple. There's not enough targeting and not enough concentration to reach your bullseye. If your objective is to sell these pair of sandals right here with custom design artwork, well, the majority of your neighbors probably aren't going to be into these sandals. If you know your user persona and your demographic and the person that you're trying to reach, it's almost impossible seemingly to target them using this app. Using the sandal illustration here, I don't see a way that you could target people that are just interested in wearing sandals. Let me show you what I mean. So now I'm 2 steps deep into advertising on Nextdoor, and I've added my keywords right here and my headline, my image, my call to action right here. And this is a preview of what my advertisement will look like. As I'm building the ad and moving to the next step here, it's allowing me to choose the audience and saying, I'm not sure exactly where they're getting these numbers from, but it's saying if I were to advertise in this area, I might reach, and I'm not sure if this is impressions, but 48,000 people within a 3-mile radius. You can adjust these things to your liking depending on what you're trying to do or the people you're trying to reach, and it's going to factor in that into the equation for the cost of your ad. The pricing plan, I don't get too deep into this because this can change overnight, and I do believe mine was under $10 per day, but they do have monthly plans and it seems to be cheap, but if you add these totals up and factor that in at the end of your campaign, you'll be able to determine your ROI and what factors were influenced in conversions. So basically, that's how to set it up, right? So nowhere in this ad will you see anything about demographics, about personas, about targeting. It's just kind of blasting this stuff out there to all your neighbors. That could be a good thing if you have a local service to offer that most people need, right? Like landscaping or something that a lot of people have if they are homeowners or something like this. But for the majority of them, whatever your offer, whatever your product, good or service is, if most people don't use it and it's very niche specific, you have no clue on who's going to click on your ad and who's going to come into your funnel because there's no way to target these people. Okay, you need to get your ROI, your return on investment. Every advertising coach and guru out there will tell you this is vital. You have to have a targeted campaign that's going to allow you to reach the people that are actual users of your product and service. As I explained with the sandals example, well, how many people in the neighborhood think wear beach sandals? Maybe a small percentage of them, but there's no way for you to target that. There's no way for you to determine who those people are. Even if you had that data of your customer, your ideal customer that's using your product, well, Nextdoor doesn't allow you to do that. It just kind of blasts it out there and tells you, oh, you'll probably reach 40, 50,000 people. You could assume out of those 50,000 people that enough people would use your product and might click on your ad, but that wasn't the case in my experience. I found it expensive, and I found that there's no way to track data or get results because it wasn't quantifiable. So as a comparison, I made this chart here so you can clearly see that Craigslist is about a 10, I would say, on this number. You post your ad, you're not sure who's going to see it, who's going to be into it. You can only do so much by guessing at keywords if you put it in the description, and sometimes you get a bunch of crazies that click on your ad and expect the world for absolutely peanuts. That's not great. Nextdoor is basically one step up from that. It gives you the look and feel of an advertising platform and makes it simple, I guess, to see visually who you're trying to reach and in what neighborhoods and what kind of people you can try to target. But those results are probably not accurate. There's no way to quantify them and put them into a statistical figure that you can use to grow and scale. And then if you look at Google and Facebook or other ad platforms, on this comparison, I put it at about 1 million because let me show you. So right here, I'm using a Google Keyword Planner, and there's a myriad of choices to use here and a bunch of settings, but you don't need to concern yourself with that right now. The thing that I'm trying to show is that basically you can break down and know exactly who your audience is and reach just those people. So if his demographic is between gender and age, you can reach the people that are between 25 to 34 years old, that are female or male. You exactly know who you're trying to share your message with. And that's why it's powerful to use these kind of platforms, but they also may cost a pretty penny to reach the ideal person. But that may be okay because the acquisition cost of reaching one client may be peanuts or maybe a small amount compared to the lifetime value of that customer. For this particular ad, you can see that click-through rate is 4%, but at least, you know, it's showing data of how many people actually saw this particular ad, how many people clicked on it for what it was. It's really tiny, small demographic and niche. But the point is, I'll move to another platform and you can see these are different ad platforms that you can see who's clicking on your ad, who's converting. You can see the schedule of when you want your ads to be shown. And then you can also change the creative so you have an idea of which ones are working better. In my experience, I found that this was the best performing creative out of the 4 that I uploaded. So this is crucial data that you need to know that is not on the Nextdoor platform. When you're sharing these insights, there's really no data here to go off of other than just this nifty looking slider that shows you how many people you might be able to reach, and then they charge you that accordingly. If I tried to reach 1 million people and then you went to the next step, well, by the time you got to duration and budget, this will change, but basically you want to reach 1 million people, you're going to pay for it too. But the problem is there's no data. So the takeaway is, wherever you want to run ads, there's a lot of platforms out there you can use. There's TikTok, Pinterest, Etsy, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Google. There's a ton of places you can advertise, LinkedIn. So make sure you can track the data because you want to be able to optimize and scale the ad for it to be successful. If you're not able to determine what is working and what isn't, well, you're basically throwing your money away. You may get some customers, people might click on your offer, they may buy something from you, but you won't be able to determine what brought them into your ecosystem. So you have no idea how to track it or scale it. So with that said, I'd like to introduce you to a platform. If you're not familiar with it, there's a link in my description below that a ton of people from all over the world are ready to help you run ads. If you need help creating the creative part, if you need help setting it up, an account, if you need help with Facebook ads, Instagram, YouTube, you want somebody to do entire agency services, there's websites out here that a ton of people from all over the world are happy to help you get done exactly what you need to do. A lot of these people have certifications and they have gone through the training for each ad platform that they're working with. So I just want to share that with you. So make sure you check the links in the description below to get help with any of your ad platforms if you're struggling and having a hard time or can't decide if you want to use Nextdoor platform or not. And thanks for watching this video. Consider subscribing to my content and click the bell to be notified of further updates and videos just like this that may help you in your marketing efforts. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.